Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Real Wisdom Artificial Intelligence. So, for those of you who have been following me along in this series, today marks an inflection point. You see two of us here instead of me just talking about the daily dose of Rashmi and giving you random wisdom. Today, since we've been talking about what does it look like to be working in an integrated intelligence organization, and we are trying to model the RASHMI.ai as a blueprint for an integrated intelligence organization. I have Morgan with me. So she's joining me. We have been working on figuring out what does it look like to actually work in an integrated intelligence organization, and how do we become fully present and aware as humans while we are at work. So that brings me to today's dose of Rashmi. Today's dose of Rashmi is fairly apt for what we are about to talk about. So logical intellect is a tool for synthesizing your past memories and imagine future states. Integrated intelligence, on the other hand, is the clarity to use your body, mind, and intelligence to live your life fully in the now. And this dose of Rashmi, as I arrived at this morning, took me back to the origin quote for this series. And for those of you who followed me along, the origin quote was, "A truly intelligent mind is neither influenced by memory nor deluded by imagination." As I absorbed that quote about a year and a half back, and I was busy advising people on artificial intelligence, what struck me was AI is a wonderful tool to synthesize our past memories and imagine future states. So it's actually a great tool from that perspective, which in a way frees us humans to become more present and aware and start living our lives at work, being more present and aware. And that was the realization which led to the birth of this series. And now, Morgan, as I think about this in the post industrial society, we have defined work, it's largely logical intellect led, which keeps all of us trapped in paying attention to logical intellect alone. And we miss all the other signals that we may be getting, and all the rituals, all the meetings, everything that happens in a logical intellect led organization keep us operating from our memories towards some future outcome, obsessing about some future outcome. It leaves no room for us to be present. And I think that is the gift I feel AI provides us, so we can be more in the now, even in work settings. So, what are your thoughts on how do we become present and now while working?
So it's actually really interesting. As I'm listening to you, I have a new insight that I never had before. So like every time we have a chat together, this is what is happening. What I'm realizing as I'm listening to you is that AI is actually matching what us humans have been using our mind for. We have been using our mind to remember things or to analyze things from an analytical, logical, rational perspective. And the current work industry is based on that. It's based on the fact that human beings are thinking beings only, but the beauty of AI and the fact that it thinks much quicker than we do and it analyzes much better than we do gives us the possibility to then now start relying and developing our senses towards our body, our intuition, our emotions, and start living and then working as beings that can rely on an integrated intelligence, which is much wider and much wiser than the pure mind and logical mind. And so you've asked me the question, how to become more present in the end. I think it's actually going to take us and going to take each human being a journey. I think it's going to be work to get to a place where human beings can be present with all other intelligences. And it's not going to be something that easy. It's not like, let's switch off the mind and no, I think it's really a path for each of us to get to learn what it's like to connect with our body, to learn what it's like to be accepting the feelings and to embrace that all other types of intelligence that we carry in our system as a human being is as powerful or maybe even more powerful than the logical intellect and what we have been used to doing with our mind. So
Absolutely. I think, and
yeah.
that is what, in terms of what our latest discussions have been on what would a day in life in a integrated intelligence organization would look like, what kind of rituals we incorporate so human beings can start operating from presence and awareness. So I'm really excited about imagining this future along with you and modeling that at the RASHMI.ai. And what you had said last week when we were brainstorming this, words that you had used about collective creation. Instead of work, we need to relabel it as collective creation. That is what eventually why any of us does what we do. Looking
It's
forward to
actually
that.
really. No, it's
Go
actually
ahead.
interesting that you say that, because in the words that I just used before, I used the word working, and I was saying it. And as I was
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
it, I
yeah.
became aware that I was saying it. And I was like, wow, even for me, but imagine, even for me, who's been working, thinking, taking a step back on all these words and language that we've been using that need
Yes,
to change, I have still
absolutely.
used working instead of collectively creating. So it's going to take a journey for us as humans to change the way that we approach what we used to call work, and to start viewing it as collectively creating as human creators. So yeah, interesting.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Proof.
Looking
It's just a proof.
Yeah, so really excited about this. I am excited about this new format of doing this with you. I think something new will emerge like it does every time we talk. So hopefully for the rest of you tuning in, you enjoyed this as well. And you've just witnessed what collective creation can look like when we truly operate from alignment and actually access to all our intelligences. So thank you, everyone.